Hello, this is Angela with Permaculture. I am delayed in getting my House Friday video out today because we had a little incident, didn't we, Ruth?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass the camera to Ruth because I actually need to run and leave a note on the neighbor's door because we have their chickens, but she's gonna let you know what happened. Here you go.
So my sister V was out on a walk and she found some chickens running amok in the street with the cars very stupidly. And she called me and my mom, and we went and noticed that the neighbor next door that usually has chickens in their yard, not next door to us, but next door to where they were, their chickens were missing, and magically some chickens had appeared in the street. So we went and caught them and put them in a cardboard box, and now they are just hanging out in our front yard in this old kennel with some water and some beans.
Solid work, Ruth, solid work. Hello, ladies. Who do you belong to? Oh, no. Look it up, Lizzie.
Don't usually go snatching up other people's birds, but I just thought since the neighbors weren't home that it was really important to make sure that their little guys did not get hit by any cars or that any neighborhood dogs didn't get to them. And so I'm just gonna hold on to them and make sure they're safe until they get back. I got some water. They're preening right now. As you can hear, our dogs are barking through the window. They're very excited. They do not usually see chickens in the front yard. Well, all things considered, that pale one is a salmon farrow. I believe the one farthest from me is an Americana or Oricana, and I'm not sure what the one in the middle is. She looks like our Barnevelders, but she has a pretty big head, and our Barnevelders have very tiny heads. But they're very sweet, lovely ladies, and they're just hanging for now. It's coming back, so I'm going to give her her phone back, but I'll see you ladies in a bit. She's pretty.
That's a pretty girl.
Pretty lady.
Come on, dum-dum.
Salmon Favreau at the end.
So Feisty means that constantly.
You're
That's
so
when, like,
cute. You look exactly like Feisty.
Okay,
Proves how inbred you guys are.
Okay, that was not how I was expecting this afternoon to go. I still have to finish filming my video for today, and I have been working on all kinds of paperwork for most of the day. If you hear noise in the background, it's because my husband is taking apart the dog crate that we had kept the neighbor's chickens in. You know, I've done a couple of videos on how to be a good neighbor, and you know, we moved here more than 20 years ago from the Midwest, and maybe things are a little bit different out there than they are in the Pacific Northwest. I feel like folks here have maybe more distance and more independence from each other and less of a sense of really tight-knit community. Not that I don't have neighbors that I know and love very well, but I remember, you know, as a kid in Texas, like I knew everybody in the neighborhood, everybody. I knew who everybody's parents were. I knew who, you know, the little old ladies were who, you know, would love to have you stop by and say hi. I knew who the folks with the scary dogs were that you wanted to avoid their yard. I just knew everybody. And even though we've been here 14 years, I don't necessarily have that feeling here. And I remember when we moved here from Missouri, that someone in our church at the time said, you know, you need to be careful about how much you insert yourself into the lives of folks in your community, because folks here are a little bit more standoffish, a little bit more independent. And I think over the years, that's been something that I've struggled to understand, but also at the same time have embraced in some ways. And so even though there's folks in the community that I don't know very well, I still want to think about how I can be neighborly to them. It's about to start dumping rain, so I'm gonna go inside and finish filming. But I just wanted to say that even if you don't have a really strong sense of community and neighborliness and, you know, really kind of familial relationships with your neighbors, it doesn't mean that you can't think about what would be best for them. It doesn't mean that you can't have community mindedness, and it doesn't mean that you can't follow the golden rule, right? Which is thinking about, what would I want my neighbor to do for me, even though we don't have though we may not know each other's names, we still can be neighborly. And I know that if my chickens were out on the street, I wouldn't want them to get run over by a car. I would want someone to step in and pick them up and leave a note on my door and say, hey, your chickens got out. And I think that's the least we can do for each other. We don't have to be besties with all of our neighbors, but we can still embrace the permaculture ethic of people care, and we can still have neighborliness. I'm gonna go back inside because it is starting to rain really hard, and I will have my House File Friday video uploaded a little bit later today. Thanks.